The moment you play a team game versus Turin, who has like 2,000 to global, and you're 600 points up. Excellent. Yeah, the second game, we will have Tagada at the bottom play as UEF and Nexus as Cybern at the top. So, do you know the Vitus now?
We do not. But we do know that Tagada wanted the bottom slot because he says it's better. So now he has it thanks to the power of random spawns.
I mean, maybe he's also someone who likes to play from the bottom to the top. I mean, I would also favor it, but in practice, of course, it does make no difference. So yeah, let's see. Nexus, look at this. He is not bothering to move for quite a bit. As you can see, it's kind of similar to what we've seen so far on the more just massive land factory spam because map control is so important on this map.
Wow. Look at this, like using the tree reclaim on a Moor to perfectly do this build. Absolutely disgusting.
I mean, there's some nice tree groups. It's like point of reach tree groups. You sometimes get a few of those as well in point of reach BO.
I think Nexus might have prepared this build order.
I think so too. I think there might be a reason why he picked this map.
It's an interesting theory.
Let's see. Tagada is going for a way more normal approach, rushing the Hydro. You kind of tend to see it on more. The one who preps it has some weird, insane factory spam at the start, crafted together, and the one who didn't prep it is going for a semi-normal Hydro rush. Let's see, Nexus is stalling quite a bit of E, but he will finish the max soon enough, but his engineer a bit too late finishing this max, but after that he will get some E reclaim, so it should be fine.
Yeah, it's a slight issue, but you know, he saves it.
It's very similar to what was it, Dex's BO, where you have a slight E stall, but it doesn't really matter, and it's so slight that it basically does no damage at all. So yeah.
Although Tagada will get his second land factory much faster.
He will get the second factory faster, although he's about to stall mass now, and he is still stalling mass, and now he decides to move his ASU because he is, so he's kind of improvising on the spot. Didn't prep too well on this map. Nexus, his factories will be a little slower, but he will have a lot more E. His air factory will be probably faster, considering he's not stalling mass like Tagada is. Although Nexus is also now close to stalling. His engineer arrives at the reclaim at the top right. A bit too late. But it's so, like I said, it's on a map like this, you can have some very specific BOs that can work well, because your opponent can't really disrupt you too easily to start. But again, a BO like this, something like a quick first bomber, can disrupt it quite badly if you don't get the necessary reclaim.
Like, I've experimented with first 2 Mech Marine versus something like this, and it can sort of work. Because you just deny the reclaiming engies that are necessary.
Exactly. But then again, it requires you to know that your opponent does for it. Although, first quick 2 Mech Marines, it's not like it's ever a bad choice. It's just like more aggressive. But then again,
if it builds a single Mantis like in the first 3 tanks, you're just done. GG, well played.
Well, not really. If you micro the mech marines properly, you have one on each side of the base, and they tend to always find damage. And even if you don't, it's 2 mech marines. They are the cheapest lab to make, so it's not a world of hurt.
It's a nice snoop on the plateau. It's just going around, getting intel, seeing that he's expanded to the right. Gonna go watch the middle now. See the NG there.
Yeah, most importantly, that snoop will be good when there will be air later on passing over it. So yeah, Nexus has quite a better start. He's now almost 2 air factories and 5 land factories. Tagada is on 4 land factories and 1 air factory, so he's 2 factories down. Although some of his factories were made earlier, so maybe has a bit of an earlier lead of units. Let's see. No, it's quite even already. So yeah, that's quite a solid BO from Nexus from the start.
Green on the far left, it went all the way around the map, is actually going to be in time to deny the 700 or the 175 mass routes.
Yeah, that's actually quite nice. Mech Marines, they're so cheap and so quick that you can always make a few of them and just send them to some locations where you expect engineers, and if they don't pay off, it's fine. Yeah,
it paid for itself. Like, congrats.
I mean, even if you don't kill one, if like having 2 trade for this engineer, for example, is almost already worth it. Like if the one on the right side of the map dies and this one succeeds, then it's already nice. It's a nice 400 mass reclaim. You invest maybe even 2 mech marines. He also kills an engineer. Tagada was a bit quicker on expanding to his Nexus, so he got a little bit more mass from that. And there's no transports out yet. I kind of feel like if someone is... Okay, Nexus is making one, yes. Because Nexus went for double air factory, so if there was someone who was going to make a transport, it was probably going to be him.
The tank has much more power, and he's actually just... He built a ton of it to support this massive T1 land spam. He's actually going to need to get his energy storage really fast, and I'm wondering if he's just going to grab this Hydro and get it done, like, by minute 8.
Yeah, it's funnily enough, he had way more power, but he was the one who having his air passed. While Nexus had 2 air factories, but none of them were passed. So yeah, a bit lacking on power in Nexus. That is for now. His SU actually walks to mid quite a bit later. He had to finish his factory grid first, but because of that, Tagada will secure his Hydro quicker in mid. And maybe with it he can rush a quick upgrade. And funnily enough, right now, in the start you saw a bit of a score difference, but now Tagada is kind of climbing ahead. Now score doesn't say everything, but as a general indicator, if someone is 1k score up ahead in this time, you can say he's probably ahead, at least in some regards. But in this case, you can see that even though Nexus had a very good BO, it's still very even, so Tagada made some nice improvisations. He's dropping tanks and engineers on the 3max location next to his base, so he should be able to secure that as well. Only loses 1 engineer in the process.
Yep. Like this plan from Tagada of just getting the fast Hydro gun, lots of power. Assuming he's going to do that.
Assuming he's going to get the gun.
I kind of thought he was going to go for it, but he might just want more air.
Yeah, I would at least build a radar there as well, because if you build a radar next to the Hydro, you can kind of see the army movement on the left of that little pond and cliff, which is quite nice. Okay, there's the gun, so you were right. And you should be able
to... Making my prediction work, I appreciate it.
Bad Tagada. Don't give Sokol the right to brag. So for now, Nexus secures the left side. 4max is a bit quicker, although there's a lot of tanks coming from Tagada, probably enough to deny it if he commits to it. Funnily enough, the same thing can happen on the right side. Nexus has, what is it, 20 tanks to the left of it? Well, there's only 10 tanks from Tagada defending that location, so... but he decides to push south instead. But overall, the difference...
He can't run in. Like, there's a PD there. Good luck.
Where? Oh, there to the south, yeah.
On the right side.
Yes. Yeah, he can't run in there. There's a PD behind the factory even, so... there's really nothing to kill that with.
But Tagada just going to run in on the far left, having a nice time. And Nexus is walking forward into the gun ICU that is almost done. No, he changes his mind. Never mind.
He changes his mind indeed.
He's actually on patrol. He could go anywhere.
Oh, it's never a good idea to have your SU on patrol. I know everybody does it sometimes, but only really when there's lots of reclaim around you, not in this situation, because somehow Patron SU feels like it's working a lot different than Patron Engineers. It feels like it's, let's say, a lot more suicidal on ACUs. It's like, oh yeah.
Well, if your NG dies, who cares? If your ACU dies, that's the win condition.
That as well, but sometimes you just patrol your ACU and there's reclaim right next to it, and it's like, yeah, but like 2 kilometers over there on the enemy side, there's also a rock.
And a gun ACU just shows up and shoots you, and you write oof in
Oh,
chat.
that's a bad air engagement from Tagada. Tagada uses all his inties for basically free. Nexus got behind. Actually, what?
Oh, that's huge. Like
he got away
basically
with,
no AA.
He got away with 5 inties. Okay, but still, that's a big air win for Nexus. Hence the oof.
And he lets Nexus's ACU get away.
Yeah, he kind of retreated after getting in range of the ACU. Which was kind of a mistake. There's no tech to air for Nexus, but he is Siren, so he's gonna start making Jesters, which will do quite some damage. There's a static AA on the left side of the map, but there's not enough tanks anyway, so it will get overrun.
T2 land up for Tagada, and not yet for Nexus, so Flak is gonna come out, and hopefully that'll let him be aggressive.
There's also a whole batch of Tech 1 MAA that just came out that should deal with inties and some early Justice quite easily as well. Nexus will be able to run over the left hand location for Tagada, but the right hand seems pretty secured with 2 PDs and an AA and enough tanks. Nexus SU is going for that location, but I'm not sure if it will make the difference. But for now, the air win is again kind of what Nexus needed, because he kind of lost the sides and lost mid as well. There's a nice raid, however, by Nexus. He killed the 3 max location northwest of Tagada's main base with some Mantis raids, so that's an extra 3 maxes that Tagada has lost.
So where Flak? There's like 2 Flak, but they're all the way in the base, and there's 4 Jesters just absolutely massacring Tagada's main army.
Yeah, the Jesters are doing quite a bit. I feel like Nexus shouldn't overcommit on Justice too much, because I feel like making a few is fine, but after you make like 4 or 5, you should probably go into Tech 2 Air, because especially Renegades are just so good versus Tech 1 units. They are so much more efficient, and Jesters, after the recent nerf, they were always had 500 HP, but now they only have 350, so they die a lot quicker. And they're quite expensive still.
It's kind of hard to use them. Meanwhile, this like gun from Tagada has accomplished actually nothing. Like he's just walking around, having a good time, vibing. Not like he can really do much because of like the constant threat of air.
Yeah, it seems like he's going to the left as well. Usually, if you get gun, you would push a bit up north to try to catch the reinforcements from Nexus's main. And if you block a connection a bit south of Nexus's army, in between that army and the 3max location on the left, it's a very important passageway that you need to maneuver your army around. And if you steal that from your opponent, then it's a lot harder to play the position.
It can basically be game winning in some cases. It's just your opponent can't maneuver effectively anymore. Like even if you set up like a T2 PD there too, just contain your opponent forever.
First pillar is dropped into the Mantis that killed the 3max location from Tagada, so you should be able to clean that up. Some nice transport usage actually so far throughout these games from both of them. But Nexus is running over mid, because Tagada kind of left it.
Yeah, the issue is just not where it needs to be.
Yeah, the entire army of Nexus is going straight for mid. The right side is getting killed by 4 Jesters. Meanwhile, Tagada is counter-attacking 3max location southwest of Nexus's base. He is gonna kill it. There's some artists in the mix to take care of the PD, but losing right and mid at the same time, looking all of a sudden quite bad for Tagada. The Jesters are getting insane value done.
And Tagada just gonna call it?
Tagada calls it GG. I mean, I kinda agree with him, because look at that army going for his base, there's nothing to stop it.
Literally nothing. Meanwhile, he's lost every expansion.
Yeah.
He has nothing left.
All of a sudden there were Mantis and Jesters everywhere. The Jesters, I mean, they did quite a bit of damage, but not insanely much. Like, they have an average of 200 mass killed, and considering Jesters almost cost 200 mass, it's kind of even, but all of a sudden Nexus has way more units everywhere. I feel like Tagada didn't use his gun issue enough. I think you're right on that. It's
I don't know. I think there was an opportunity to perhaps shift G him just as that gun ICU done and just commit auto OC the ACU, and he just dies there. But
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It would have been close.
It would have been.
And pretty risky. But anything's possible.